Hi everyone, thanks for coming to Yin Yoga. If you've never done Yin before, it's very relaxing. You're gonna want some sort of props to support your body weight. So pillows work great, towels, blankets, get what you need. And if you have any requests, type them in the little box here. I'll add them in either this class or who knows how long we'll be doing this for. But thanks for coming. All classes are donation based. The info on how to donate is just below the video, should be. But yeah, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. We'll get started today in a heart opener in supported fish pose. Now, if you don't have props, I'll give you a different option to work with. But if you're taking supported fish and you have a big pillow or you have blocks, you can use those. You're going to open through your chest, so you'll lean back over your pillow or your bolster. Slide one shoulder blade under, slide the other under, feel an opening through your chest. Your legs can stay long, or you can bring your feet together to touch. If you don't have props, you're going to stick with the hip opener, come flat onto your back here, and then feet together, knees wide. If you have your blocks, you can bring one block behind your shoulder blades, one block behind the back of your head. It should feel good, so you want to make sure you've got the right placement. It's a little strange if you've never been in it before. And then we're here for about 4 to 5 minutes. So you want to make sure you're comfortable. Maybe you close your eyes to start. Take a breath in through your nose. Notice this breath start from your low belly. Then it hits your mid belly, then your upper chest. Pause at the top. Out through your mouth in reverse order, exhale. Your chest drops, your mid belly, your low belly. Inhale through your nose. Pause at the top. Reverse order, exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale through your nose. Pause and hold. Out through your mouth. Release. 1 more time. Big breath in. Hold, sip in a little more air. Exhale. And then switch to any breath that feels good, any breath that feels natural. You're about halfway through this hold. There's a different shape in your legs you'd like to take. Go for it. Take a full round of breath. And extend your legs out long in front of you if they aren't already. Roll onto either side, your right or left side. Pause for a moment in fetal pose. Rest your forehead onto your upper arm. Notice how the breath feels in your upper back. Roll back onto your spine. Set your props off to the side so you've got room to lie down. Hug your right knee into your chest. Grab for your right shin. Your left leg can fall heavy to the earth, but if that's too much or it bothers your back, bend your left knee, plant your left foot on your mat. Use your upper arms to squeeze your knee towards your rib cage, feeling a bit of compression through your hip crease. And then gently glide your knee to center over towards your belly button, and then back out to the right. To center, over to the right. Keep moving here. And then pause at center, as if you're drawing your knee across your chest on a diagonal. Use your upper arms to deepen the compression. And then if it feels good, circles through your ankle joints, both directions. Half happy baby on the right. Grab for the outside edge of your right foot, or maybe you interlace your hands around your right thigh. Your left hand can come to your left hip, add gentle pressure. Again, if it's too much, plant your left foot on the earth. Then let tension melt away from your shoulder. Really put this effort in your upper arm. Release your grip. Hug both knees into your chest. And let your right leg fall heavy, or plant your right foot on the earth. Interlace your hands on your left shin. Start by drawing your left knee around your rib cage, pausing to feel the compression. Slide your shoulders down away from your ears. And then half circles when you're ready. Pull your knee to center, and then out to the left. A few more times. Pausing on the rotation in. Draw your knee across your chest. Hold. Option for ankle circles. Both sides. And half happy baby on the left. Grabbing for the outside edge of your left foot, or interlacing your fingers around your left thigh. Four breaths. Release your grip. Hug both knees in. Give yourself a squeeze. Sway a little side to side. Then grab from behind your thighs. Rock and roll. Come up to a seated position. We'll take butterfly pose. Bring your feet together. Your knees come wide. You can also sit on a prop to elevate your hips if you're tighter through your back. And you can take your fingers, interlace them around your toes. You're getting a stretch through your feet at the same time. Take a breath in and exhale, fold forward. It doesn't matter how far down you come. You can let gravity do the work for you. Always an option to support your forehead with your blocks or props. We're here for a couple minutes. This is going to open through your spine. The farther away your feet from your torso, the more of an opening you'll feel through your back. But if you want to focus on the inner hip stretch, the adductor stretch, slide your heels closer towards you, and then use your elbows to push your thighs away. That's more of an active variation. So if you want something more restorative with a little less effort, focus on the opening in your spine. One more minute here. Take a full round of breath. And curl yourself up to a seat. Plant your feet on the earth. Drop your knees right to left. And cross at your shins. Bring your hands to your knees. Take some circles through your spine. Really exaggerating this movement. And then the other way. When you find center, fold forward. Keep pushing your hips back in space. Your forearms can drop to the earth if you have the flexibility. 2 breaths here. And then you'll curl up, switch out the cross of your shins. Opposite shin forward, sit up tall, and then fold forward one more time. Two breaths. Curl yourself up, roll forward into a tabletop position. We'll come into child's pose. Send your knees wide, sit back onto your heels, lower down to the earth, maybe onto your pillow or your prop, or maybe straight to your mat. You're looking one way, switch out your gaze. Final minute here. Take a full round of breath. Gently push up into tabletop. Slowly walk your knees under your hips. Send your right leg back. You can bend your knee, open your hip, or even take a supported side plank or flipped dog. Back to center, other side. Send your left leg back, bend your knee, open your hip. Supported plank. And then back to center. Going through a few cow cats. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly, slide your heart forward. Exhale, cat, round and curl your spine. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And keep moving on your own. You can add in any movement you'd like. So from a neutral tabletop, step your left foot forward, coming into a kneeling lunge. And then start with each hand on each side of your front foot. Let your hips sink forward and down. From here, roll your shoulders down away from your face. Maybe even take some shoulder rolls. And turning this into a lizard lunge, bring both hands inside your left foot. Crawl your left foot to the top left edge of your mat. You can drop down to your forearms. If you've got props, use them on any height. You're here for 3 minutes, so if this is way too much, you can always straighten your front leg for a moment and then bend back in as you're ready. The things to consider are staying with your breath and then noticing any rise of tension, particularly in your upper body, your shoulders, your jaw, your head, your neck. We're halfway through. At any point you'd like to add in the quad stretch, bend your back knee, reach back, grab from your back foot. Got one more minute here. Thirty seconds. Take a full breath. Stay for your exhale. And gently push into your hands. Crawl your left foot to center. Take half splits as a counter stretch. And bend your left knee as much as you need to. And then we'll take that on the other side. Slide your left leg back. The cat would feel good. Add it in. And then when you're ready, step your right foot forward in between the hands. Let your hips sink forward and down. Pause here just to invite this stretch into your body. You can always pad your back knee with a towel or roll over the edge of your mat. Your shoulders down away from your ears. And then both hands inside your right foot. Crawl your right foot to the top right edge of your mat, coming into your version of lizard lunge. 3 minutes here. Stay with whatever breath feels best. If you find it challenging to hold in stillness or your mind is wandering, count up on your inhale, down on your exhale. And you can create a little mantra or phrase to repeat to yourself with each breath in, each breath out. Already halfway through, add in the quad stretch at any point if you did so on the other side. 30 seconds. You got a full round of breath. Finding your half splits, crawl your right foot to center, straighten your leg, fold over your thigh. Slide your right foot back. Put your hands on the earth. Downward facing dog. Send your hips high. Ragdoll, crawl your hands back towards your toes. Bend your knees a lot. And grab for opposite elbow creases or interlace your hands behind your head, your neck. Whatever feels good here. Rock weight into one foot and the other foot. Swaying side to side. And we'll turn this into a Mallanna frog squat. Rotate your toes out, sit in between your heels. You can also sit on a block or a couple blocks stacked. You can also slide a towel or blanket underneath your heels if you're tighter through your ankles and your heels are lifted. It's going to be pretty intense. Send your tailbone down. Use your elbows to push into your inner thighs. Send your heart forward towards your thumbs. Your spine is long. This bothers your knees. Lift your hips a little higher. Add a block or a pillow. Four breaths here. Maybe stick out your tongue, sigh out your air. Two more breaths. And coming back into dangling or ragdoll, lift your hips, rotate your toes forward, bend your knees, hang heavy. Second set. Maybe you take a different variation in your arms. See how it feels as you roll more weight forward towards your toes. Taking another set of that squat. Rotate your toes out, widen your stance as much as you need. Sit in between your hands. Push your elbows into your inner thighs. Now, if this is way too much and you hate it, you can always drop down into child's pose. You'll get the same stretch through your inner thighs. Send your tailbone down, pull your heart to your thumbs. Just notice any sensations that arise, any thoughts, any emotions. Let's go for 10 breaths. Five more breaths. Full breath in, full breath out. Back to dangling hips to the sky. Take your time, rotate your toes forward. And crawl back to down dog. Setting up for half pigeon or any version of pigeon you like. On the left, lift your left leg high. Exhale, knee to left wrist. Send your shin across your mat. Lengthen your right leg long behind you. You can stay upright or lower down. Maybe you support your hips with a block, your chest with a pillow. If this bothers your front knee, flip onto your back. Take supine pigeon. Halfway through the side.
Close your eyes.
Take a breath in, breath out, and gently push back into tabletop, maybe down dog. Send your left leg back, bend your knee, open your hip, circles or stillness. If you're on your back, switch out your legs. We'll set up on the other side. On your right knee, your right wrist. Get your left leg as long behind you as you can. Feel your way even through your hip creases. Stay upright or slowly lower down. Over halfway through. Finish the breath that you're on. Slowly push back into your release. Send your right leg back. Bend your knee, open your hip. Come through to a seat. We'll take a bit of an active stretch through the hamstrings before we lie onto the earth. Send your right leg out to the right. Bring your left foot to your inner thigh. You can always sit on a block here if you notice yourself leaning backward. You want to be able to fold forward. So elevate your hips as much as you need. Starting with a side bench stretch, slide your right palm or forearm underneath your right calf. Lift your left arm up and over. There's not a whole lot of effort here. Just feeling the opening through your entire left side. It's about 4 breaths. Lift your chest, rotate your torso towards your right leg. Exhale, fold over your right thigh. So you can grab onto your foot. You can use a towel, a strap, or a t-shirt, or focus the stretch in your spine. Bend your right knee as much as you need, and then fold forward. Put this effort back into your upper arms rather than your shoulders or your neck. Here for about 1 more minute. Thirty seconds. Finish your breath, and then curl yourself up. You can plant your feet, drop your knees side to side. And then we'll set up for the opposite leg. Send your left leg out. Bring your right foot in towards your inner thigh. Find your firm base. Option to elevate your hips again by sitting on any prop. Take your left hand, slide it underneath your left calf. Reach your right hand up, reach your right hand over, finding your side bench stretch. Here just for a few breaths. One more round. And then inhale, come all the way up. Turn your torso towards your left leg. Exhale, fold. Option to bend your knee as much as you'd like. You can use as much effort or as little effort you desire, whatever your personal preference is today. Thirty seconds. Finish the round of breath that you're on. And then slowly curl yourself up. Plant your feet, drop your knees right to left. And you lower all the way down onto the earth. We'll take supported bridge pose with your block underneath your sacrum, your low back, just above your tailbone. You can also slide a pillow underneath your low spine, a cushion. And if you don't have a prop, take bound angle pose, second set with your feet together, knees open wide. You're coming into supported bridge, typically the lowest or middle setting will work best here, but if you want a little more, you can stack 2 blocks, one on top of the other. Let the entire weight of your hips rest onto your block. Let your hands take any position that feels good. Your knees can knock together or straighten your legs forward. Option for waterfall. At any time you can lift both your legs. Your legs are lifted, plant them back onto the earth, or if they're straight out in front of you, slide them back. Take 4 breaths. And push into your feet to slide your props off to the side. Lower down 1 bone at a time. Fallen bridge, knock your knees together, send your feet wide. Option to drop your knees right to left. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And supine twist over to the left just for a few breaths. Drop your knees to the left. Your right arm comes out to a T. Then back to center. Hug your knees in. And exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center, give yourself a squeeze. If there's any final movement you need, take that now. Exhale, release into your final resting pose. Take up space, get comfortable. Maybe it's legs up the wall. Once you're in your most comfortable and supported position, take a breath in. Hold at the top, sip in a little more air. Big exhale. Let it go. Spend as much time here as you would like. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, namaste.